Now, getting into it, the group of you have completed the job for the Opulent Depths Mining Company. They had two miners disappear from around one of their work camps in the mountains a few days west of Elderthorn. And you had seen the job posted a few days prior and took other avenues in the meantime. And then the wage increased and drew a little bit more attention, and the group of you took up the call. Traveling that way, you met with Siegfried's mother and adopted sister. Oh, adoptive sister? Um, and then found Felix Sparklefern, the foreman of the Opulent Depths Mining Company, and he informed you of a little bit of the goings on here. These two miners had disappeared, seemingly without a trace, before even lighting their cook fire one night, and the group of you set off. You found backpack filled with logs, presumably for said cook fire, that had been abandoned. You got twisted around, turned around in the woods, and lost. Eventually found another piece, a large shoe that looks like it had gotten stuck in something, and someone in a sprint had stepped out of their shoe as they were trying to run from something. And as you came to this large gorge, looked over, saw a body down below. Stringing together what rope you still have, you started the process of the recovery of this body. Whilst doing so, you were attacked. A creature that had been laying in wait at the sounds of your approach came down out of one of the trees and assailed a group of you. None of you had ever seen a creature like this before. Multiple legs of a hard carapace and a soft underbelly. A worm-like neck that seems to not really have bones, with vicious jowls and large teeth. It was dangerous and difficult to comprehend. There was a pressure on some of your minds as its mere presence, and yet you slew it. You've recovered the body from the gorge midway through this fight, truth be told, and identified the body as one of the two miners. In your process of butchering this creature, really for meat, just to maybe see what it's about, some of you extracted teeth much more easily than they should have, coming out of it like lifting a tooth out of a jar of jelly. But you did find the remains of another half-elf within its stomach, digestive system. And you found what happened to Elre Lizana and Emron Rolar. At this point, you've been camping out here as the sun is down, and you are chagrined to try to pick your way back through the wood whilst the light does not shine. Jakakath has collected his hooded lantern, and a group of you are here, a decent distance from the gorge, but your quarry is butchered and killed. The objectives of your mission acquired and respectfully bundled up to be returned. What is it that the group of you have?
I believe we were planning to rest here since it is nightfall.
Okay. Does anyone have anything that they want to do prior to the group of you properly turning into rest?
Yeah, Willum was drawing a picture of this creature, probably illustrating as it was dissected by the group and any notes, just trying to flesh out and understand why there was a familiarity with it.
Okay. And I believe you did roll for that already, correct? Yes, dexterity 19. It's a pretty good drawing. All things considered. As you glance through it, there's some spots that like you draw and then rub out and like retrace. It's workable. It's not your absolute best, most fantastic skill, but it's good enough that anyone that glances about it upon it would say, "Oh, that's pretty good." And be sincere.
Fair, that's fair. Was I able to gain any insight on it as I was doing so?
As you work, unfortunately, nothing comes to mind. It's frustrating, to some extent, and a little part of you might feel slightly relieved that you're not like this thing. It's tough to tell.
Okay.
Are you cooking for everyone? Oh, sorry.
I was going to say, Hillarast is still trying to figure out what her augury meant. Obviously, they weren't supposed to stay in the canyon, but where are they supposed to go? So she's going to kind of withdraw and sit at the base of a tree, close enough to be safe, but far enough away that people don't notice that she's muttering to herself and shaking her head and consulting her spirit to figure out what it was that's going on. She's just trying to figure it out.
Okay.
And she's acting a little weird to do so.
All right. Make me an intelligence check.
Okay.
There we go. 12. It's tough to say. Because it was as you think back and recount what memories and thoughts you were having as you cast the bones, you recall thinking of, if we continue down the gorge, will we find we'll find the other body. And your results were mixed, both weal and woe. Your best assertion is you might have found it down that way. Maybe from this creature ambushing you there, in a gorge where you can't escape. You find it, but would you find it inside of its form, or would you cut open its form?
Right.
perturbing, but take it as you will.
Okay.
Okay.
Willum's bacon sounds delicious
Um,
and smells.
before I go to bed, could I ritually cast detect magic on the bodies?
Certainly. Well, detect magic, it's an area, so it'll affect a lot.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I just mainly want to check the bodies and maybe any of the remains
Of course.
of the needle monster.
Sure. I like a name for that. I'll adjust your handout. Handout Needle Monster. Alright.
Nice.
Now, over 10 minutes and 6 seconds, you cast Detect Magic. How does the ritual look as you go about this? Is there anything specific that you do, Siegfried?
When he's ritually casting a spell, it kind of sounds like he's like working on scales on his instrument, and he sort of sits down and starts practicing on it, but he's also kind of channeling magic at the same time.
Okay. As you complete this over 10 minutes time, and your senses open to faint auras that would fall upon anything magical in the area. The packages, the wrapped up corpse that I believe was wrapped in a part of a tent that you destroyed to wrap it respectfully. And then another part of that same tent used to wrap the remains of the imbibed one. Neither of them have magical auras upon them of any sort. Now, when you look at the world around you, there's a very faint bit of light and color that comes to it just with your regular senses. And whilst having this layer upon it with detect magic, everything has a very, very faint touch just of how the weave works its way through the world. As you examine the remains of the creature, it's darker. It's starting to become lighter, but it seems like at one point it was absent of this touch of the weave. It was not present upon it. And now that it's no longer living, presumably, the weave is starting to finally find a purchase upon its form. It's a very faint change. It's like you're changing from like eggshell to off-white. You're not very much of a change whatsoever. But it stands out from the surroundings by being slightly differently tinted than everything else. And over the duration of the spell, which I believe is also 10 minutes, it gets to about parity with the ground, the grasses, the dirt, the logs, the trees, the leaves, everything.
During this time, Siegfried's gonna take out his journal and just write down any of the changes he sees, and
Sure.
also like the timing before it goes back, like between when we killed it to when the weave gets a hold of the body again.
Make me a history check.
Yeah. A 19.
You fairly accurately recall. It seems like it's about an hour.
Okay. So
From
an hour from when we killed it.
an hour from the killing blow. Correct.
Okay. After that, I will ask Aeolus, do you know anyone in the Watch that has knowledge of the arcane nature of things?
Would I know of the of the proper higher up, Spencer?
For the
Or the
caster side of it,
spellcasters?
of
Yeah.
course. Give me a history check. See if you remember who Storm Surge's equivalency is on that side. Roll 20 likes to go super slow today. 11. You do. It is a... Where is it? Pardon me one moment. I want to make sure I'm getting the name right.
Also, before detect magic ends,
Yeah.
I'd like to do a quick check on Willum.
Okay.
Does Willum have the same sort of darkness on him?
Willem does not, no.
Okay.
So, like, the road bacon might. It's some really good road bacon. Or really bad road bacon, however you want to look at that.
Well, I just tell Aeolus, my area of expertise isn't in the arcane necessarily, but using
The...
a spell.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I'll just say using one of my spells, I can at least sense the effects of magic, and well, I start explaining about the weave to the like, well, Aeolus, like magic is kind of all over the place, and we're all kind of connected to it, even if we realize it or not. But at the time we were fighting this creature, it wasn't connected to the weave. I don't really know what that means.
It was absent.
Yes, like right now, it seems the further from death, eventually it becomes reconnected to the weave. But at the time we were fighting it, it was completely dark.
Well, Agma Spine is the one that you're looking for.
I think we may need to bring this up to him.
I agree.
Well, nothing to do tonight. Let's.
You would know, bring it up to her.
I'll bring it up to her. Okay, understood.
At the very least, Aeolus would know. Let me grab you guys the handout.
Would Hellerast be aware of the concept of the weave as a shaman?
Are you proficient in the Arcana skill?
No.
You know there's a presence of magic that you draw upon, but not in any academic type of sense. It's a presence you know there's something there, but it's not like you have the specific words to describe it. But if Siegfried started explaining it, it sounds like everything sort of fits.
And Siegfried doesn't have.
Yeah,
It's
that's
just another word.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Siegfried doesn't have the Arcana skill either. He knows that something exists, but he's sort of like describing it in more of a druidy way. Like there's sort of this energy that connects us all.
Yeah, Rose by any other name. Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
There is the handout for that.
Do you mean the weave? Well, Willem does have Arcana.
Yeah, do you know about it? I know I draw on it, but part I access is nature. I know what arcane casters draw on is a little different.
Yeah, I remember reading something about it in the book I found as a child.
And pardon?
There we go. Alright. I had a typo on the handout.
Little,
Sorry, I thought it was on mute.
you're muted, Bill, if you're talking.
No, I think I lost connection for a moment and I missed something you were saying. Sorry.
Oh, I was just Siegfried was asking. Well, do you recall anything, Willum?
I wouldn't be able to explain it well, but I feel like Willem would give a quick rundown of it.
Okay, all right, yeah. Well, yeah, I think we need to seek out a second opinion, but for now, let's. Oh, what? Sorry.
I didn't mean to cut you off. I apologize. I was going to say, and probably would try to illustrate something in their book, explaining it.
Well, not much to do right now. Let's set up a watch and try to head back to the mining camp in the morning.
Who's taking first watch?
Siegfried will take last watch when it starts getting a little light out.
Got it.
Hellerest will take first watch. She
Sounds
can't
good.
sleep anyway.
Okay.
We'll take second watch.
Alright.
I'll take third.
And Siegfried covers it. Willem gets a full night's sleep.
Woot woot. It's drawing time.
Yeah. Well,
It's
you'd be able to
because
get
of
up with
the-
Siegfried. So, over. I'd like a perception check for all the people taking watches, please.
I'm pulling like a champ today.
It's all right. Perfect. No, it's fine. Totally fine. Over the first few hours, Hellerasta, before you wake, Dunnan, it takes you a moment to realize, the forest was very quiet, and slowly, gradually, it's not a clear delineation, but, these sounds of the forest start to come back. Insects buzzing, a small shrew running here and there underneath fallen leaves. Sounds that you hadn't realized, like, as you sat down, that you had not heard in some hours. It's a comforting thing. Other than noting that, your watch passes uneventfully. Dunnan. 15. You get up, roll your shoulders a little bit. Still a little bit stiff and from everything. You do some paces, get your blood flowing a little bit better. There's a bite of the early spring still in the air. Winter's still trying to hold on, especially higher up here in the hills. But it's a good night. No one died, killed something, about to get paid. It's positive. Your watch passes quite quickly, actually. You find yourself lost in thought of the events of the day.
Well, Dunham would probably sit there and like wet his axe and inspect his gear just to be sure that nothing is broken or needs some maintaining.
Easily done. Everything, by the end of your watch, is shipshape. Aeolus. Coming to you watch in a moment. Willum. You bed down.
What?
As you rest and begin to recover, these thoughts are on your mind. What this thing was, why it held its attack against you, and then directed its fury elsewhere. Was it something about you, something wrong, something strange, alien, or something that it saw that it seemed to have a kinship? Was it afraid of you? Was it intrigued by you? Did it want to listen to you? These thoughts ruminate in your head, and you settle into an uneasy sleep. There's a crack of thunder. You blink bleary-eyed. You're not near your companions. You're seated against the trunk of a tree. You stand up looking around. There's another crack of thunder, and then you feel the rain coming down, beating down upon you. And you hear now, a few feet away from you, the crashing of surf against rock, far below. You're near a cliffside. Squint, and you can hear voices. A voice. It's muffled by the sound of the wind and the rain, and the rolling thunderous storm clouds. Feels like you're in the middle of a terrible thunderstorm. Grab a hold of the tree trunk as you sort of stagger to keep your footing. What do you do?
I would sit up and look around me. Am I aware that this is a dream? I'm awake.
You don't know. You feel awake.
I would look around to the party or for the party.
Give me a perception check.
I suppose a command check. Perhaps.
Ooh, there you go. It takes you a moment, and then you hear where the sound of this muffled voice is coming from. It's hard to make out who's speaking, but you know which direction it's left along the cliff. You don't know if that's north, south, east, west, what. You just know left. But that's where the sound of her voice is coming from. You don't see any companions nearby you, but you suspect that would be them in that direction.
Call out. I can hear you. Is that Hellerest or hello? I would
There's
start
no
heading
answer.
towards it.
No, there's no answer. You keep stepping forward. Make me a dexterity save, please.
Dunnan, are you out there?
Two good rolls in a row. There's a crumbling of stone for a moment as you feel like your foot is about to slip off the side, and you quickly grab onto a branch. As you pass your head underneath it, you continue moving along. You're going uphill, it feels like, slightly, not a very steep incline. And then you hear the voices more, and there's another voice. It's like a churning, deep voice that's present. It doesn't sound like the other one. As you sort of squint through the rain and the wind, you hear the crack of thunder. It cuts across your consciousness again. And up at the edge of this cliff, you see a figure garbed in dark robes, like a heavy traveling cloak. Standing there on the cliffside, with a hand out towards the storm, left hand raised, You're calling to the storm of some sort. It doesn't look like any of your companions. This is someone. You can't see a face. You don't know what he or she looks like. The hand is just up and out, covered in like a heavy hunting glove.
Hello, I hear you. Would continue approaching.
Okay. As you approach, this voice, does it belong to them? It's tough. You can't tell. It's coming from that direction, but there's no physical indication that this person's speaking. The storm's getting worse. It's hard to keep your footing for a moment. You're slipping. You're falling to a knee here and there in the mud and the rain. You see the cloak get pulled aside for a moment, and from underneath the cloak, raising up the form, you see the individual lift the body, living, dead, who knows, of an infant, holding it by its back over the cliff. It drops the other hand, and with the falling away of the left hand, the right hand thrusts the form of this infant over the cliff. There's another crack of thunder, and you lose sight of the form of the person falling. How many feet below, you don't know. You lose track of it, and with that, you wake up in a flash of cold sweat, about an hour into Aeolus's watch.
Would probably sit up gasping. But, child, and was it a dream? And immediately start drawing.
Are you okay?
One moment, I have to get this down. I don't know what it was, but I heard a voice.
Like a nightmare?
I don't know. It seemed so real. That's my hopefully non-stick figure drawing this time. I would probably try to draw the figure holding out their hand.
Yeah. You got mostly silhouette, and not a good one at that. There was a heavy traveling cloak. This person was garbed. It's more landscape piece than like a have you seen this person type of drawing. Like charcoal rubbing of a rough form, holding up the form of a child.
And I would say, I saw this. It was so real. And would explain the dream in as much detail as possible.
Try as you might, Willum, you cannot recall any words that you heard said. The voice was middle tone. Couldn't tell if it was male, female, if there was an accent of any sort. It was. Now you're second guessing yourself on the voice, even. You don't know what word. You heard sounds. Was it speaking? You get that moment of like doubting your own memory, and you can feel the parts of the dream starting to fade immediately. But
Are you okay?
Yes, it was just a horrible dream.
Well, we did face something of the utmost horror today. Try to get your rest. And Aeolus is gonna turn back around and go back to his previous activities.
Okay. Will it make me a concentration check?
What would I roll for that?
Con save. You're able to focus and calm your racing heart enough, to be able to get back to sleep, should you choose.
I think I would. I'm gonna keep my book near just in case anything else resurfaced when I woke.
Noted. The rest of your watch passes uneventfully, Aeolus, besides Willum's outburst.
Okie doke. Before I wake Siegfried, Aeolus is gonna step a couple of feet into the forest, and he's gonna take out two silver pieces, and he's going to walk over to a rock, and he's gonna tap the rock a couple times with the silver as he places it.
Mhm.
Stands up straight, bows deeply, and quietly thanks the spirits as he returns
Noted.
back.
Are you leaving the two silver pieces there?
Yeah.
Okay. Your rest is comfortable as you return to it, Aeolus. Siegfried, the dawn's light is starting to greet you. A mildly overcast sky, after the storms of the day before, and then the smattering of rain as it drew to night. It's a nice day. Looks like it should shape up to be a very nice day. As you go about getting the morning preparations ready, packing up that which you can, whilst the remaining of your companions rest. Willum was supposed to wake up with you, but still seems to be eager to get a little bit more sleep. The last 2 hours also pass uneventfully. The group of you can all go ahead and long rest.
Oh no, where's my long rest macro?
It's not there.
Okay.
Adjust your hit points like a big boy and manage it yourself.
Can you do it for me, Spencer?
And your hit point maximum somehow is 1.
How strange.
Does the horror save go back to 0?
No, that stays.
We keep those. Okay.
Yeah. That is a perpetual thing. So
Okay.
you have that perpetual bonus or penalty to successive saves against things like that.
Okey-dokey.
Okay. The day is yours. Jacakath will confirm for you. The ropes are still there in the forest. The spirits did not take them.
That's good. Well, everyone, that's gonna be a good day to walk. So let's use it.
Let's get back to camp and tell them the bad news.
Yep. Siegfried hoists up the 2 corpse packages he has.
Okay.
Yes.
let's see if we
Did you
can.
put this lodge one, just in a bag, or what do you do?
It's tied
Sorry.
up in the tarp of a tent.
Yeah, I have the corpse in one package and the bones in another.
All right. Well,
I just figured I didn't want to carry the corpse of a miner through the camp with everyone watching, you know.
yeah, could be bad for. Yeah, let's just get back.
Yeah, I will try and use the ropes to get back to the trail, and then hopefully from the trail we can make it back to the camp.
Sounds good. Who's leading the expedition to try to return to Camp 1?
I will lead the way.
Okay. Survival check
Will
for me,
be-
please. Aeolus, you can also make a survival check then.
I will also guidance myself.
Noted.
Elrest, as usual, will be near the rear or at the rear.
Sounds good. Keeping an eye on your flock.
Yes, and for anything that might sneak up behind us.
Gotcha. Alright, so 12 and a 14.
16 after guidance.
12 and 6, 10 and 16. Sorry, I added 2 in the wrong spot. 10 and 16. Okay. Easy enough to find your way back to the trail. And even though that it seems like you had wandered for hours the night before, it takes you not more than about an hour and a half to get back to Camp 1. Following the trail, it's clearly cut. While it was a game trail at one point, it looks like it might be a common supply trail for miners that are looking to collect wood for their campfires.
Do we find the bag
Easy.
of logs on the way back?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Unless you can't help but have a wry smirk across your face as you get back to your camp 2 silver later.
Yep.
You are back at the Opulent Depths Mining Company, Camp 1, on the outskirts, a few hundred yards from the main complex of camp and barracks and that sort. As most miners prefer to camp outside once they have the financial means to have the correct supplies, for a little bit more comfort than is afforded for the barracks themselves.
Shall we get back to Felix and bring him the bad news?
Yeah. We should head over to the. Felix was the one that we met here, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
The foreman's name, Felix Sparklefern.
Yeah. And Dr. Boongraft is the one in Elderthorn.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Dr. Zillenlow Burn.
Elrest feels that it might not
Zillen
be.
Booncraft.
Elrest feels like it might not be good to just throw these beloved people's bodies at the feet of whatever in a bag. Is there a way that we can prepare the body in a way that's a little more respectful than a tent?
Don't have any.
I mean,
Make
should
me-
we leave them at the camp and then like
Make
leave the
me-
body parts?
Yeah, make me a... Call it a religion check.
Okay.
Because it has to do with customs. Pretty good roll. Probably...
It's not like they were a bounty.
Yeah, so there's customs. You know that Zillen Booncraft is the one that's going to pay you, and you're expected to return the bodies to the families, or to Zillen, and to be returned to the families. And as you're sort of mulling this over, it might not be respectful to carry a bundled thing that's very clearly a body over Siegfried's shoulder through camp. Not just for the fact that then that starts rumors. But then that means that there's a risk of news traveling indelicately about the rumored death of these loved ones, as opposed to a confirmation, even though it's bad news, but there's no uncertainty. And you're chagrined to participate in something that could lead to potentially false hope of, oh, they found only one body. It must not be your the uncle and nephew, because they were only carrying one. Maybe they're still out there, only to then have those hopes dashed once the family would be told. It's a very delicate situation. Your best guess is probably better to not carry the body through the camp.
Well, perhaps we can wait here at the edge, and someone can go get Felix and ask him to meet us here.
Go and fetch Felix. You wait here. I understand your concern, Leofric. You're right. I don't wanna put on a show. It can impact morale here in camp. Just give me a minute, and I will go and get Felix.
As Dunnan walks away, can Aeolus spot? I would like to see if there's a way to walk around the outside of the camp to bypass it.
Okay. Sounds good. Takes you about 5 minutes. Yep, you can walk around the outside of their exterior wall to the main road.
Okie-doke.
It's
Hello,
not an
Rast.
issue.
Is the body in the camp though?
No. Siegfried has it. Done and walked in.
Okay. Hellerast would like Siegfried to maybe put the body down and at least arrange the body in a way that's respectful.
I think
Just laid on the ground and laid in the best possible. And she's willing to do the work. It doesn't bother her to touch a dead body like that. And then to cover them with the tent.
When we woke up, was Willum able to cook everybody his breakfast with the chef feat, by the way?
Yes.
Okay, so everybody would get temporary hit points equal to my proficiency bonus, which I'm assuming is a 2.
2, yeah.
Yes,
Yes,
2.
2 temp.
Nice.
Willem would probably also remind Lyrassic, don't prepare the bodies while eating your walking bacon. It's not sanitary.
Done, and you push into the camp. It's about mid-morning at this point, since you were traveling for some time from where you fought the needle monster. And it's mostly empty. You might have been able to carry a body through here, but a few people probably would have seen. You get to the administration setup, and as you knock on the door, door swings inward, and see Sparklefern is currently working on a large tome and writing down figures and comparing it to a second one and taking one, transcribing information, it looks like. As he looks up at the sound. Yes. Oh, you're back.
Is anybody else in the tent or just him?
You only see him in the moment.
And then I would approach, but would speak in a low voice and would say, "Morning, Mr. Sparklefern. We just
Yes.
returned from our investigation, and
Oh, you're efficient. How is everyone?
Well,
He sort of
you
sets his quill down for a moment and takes off his glasses, folding them.
you better come with me and
Oh.
be prepared for not such a pleasant view.
Okay.
And
He puts a ribbon through the book, closes that, grabs a sort of a cardigan that's on a peg near the door, throws that over for the morning chill, and follows you out.
right, this way.
About
I'll
8 minutes.
lead them back.
That's good. About 8 minutes since you left the group, you return. Aeolus, you're on your walk back from the main road at this point. You see Dunnan and Sparklefern reach the rest of your group. At the sight of a wrapped up corpse, like the form of a corpse wrapped in something, clearly. Oh, my.
We still need you to confirm that it is the 2 missing miners you were searching for. I'm sorry. It seems like we were too late.
Of course.
We were attacked by a terrible, horrible creature. I've never seen anything like it. He had no chance. But we slew the creature, so at least it won't.
Okay.
Yeah. Nobody else will fall victim to it.
Thank you. Just wish it didn't come at such high cost.
Siegfried will just speak up. I believe the one wrapped up, I think that might have been the older one, and the other one is just bones, but we suspect that it might be the younger one, but I wasn't able to confirm that.
Sort of goes towards where the Helleras has gotten the body set up. And sort of folds back part of the tent that's been wrapped around him. Oh. Sort of catches in his throat for a moment. This is Elre. Oh my. And you say you found Emron as well?
At least what was left of him.
He says with a shudder. May I?
Of course, they're your people.
Do you show him that which you have of Emron's remains?
Yeah, I lay it down respectfully. I was away, but if Helleras was getting things prepared,
Okay.
while Dunnan was away,
You
I
would
would
have
help.
brought out Emron's pieces
Yeah.
also. Okay.
Yep.
I mean, looks about right. That's very clearly miner's calluses on the hands. I would stick that that's Emron. Everything fits. You said you found it with this creature?
Well, from what we saw, it looked like they'd gone into chop wood and were attacked. They both started running, but it seemed like Emron got caught pretty quickly. And then the older one made a mad dash through the forest and came upon a cliff that apparently he didn't see, and it seemed like he ran off the edge.
Oh my. And then this one was... Emron was eaten?
It seems so,
What a way to go. Despite the cardigan, he definitely doesn't sit the best with him.
I know you don't want to incur panic, but perhaps maybe send out an advisory saying if you're going to chop wood, maybe travel in a group.
Yeah.
Use light. Keep a.
You said you killed the
eye on
thing. He looks at you, Dunn. You said you killed it. Is there more of them?
We don't know really. I've
There's
never seen
some this one, but we don't know.
I've never seen a creature like it. I don't know if it has a a pack or as a den somewhere. I have no idea.
I'll post a notice. I you're returning the bodies to my supervisor, yes?
Yes.
Okay.
I think the plan is to just leave from here and not go through the camp.
No, please don't. Thank you for your foresight on that.
Oh, thank Helirest. I almost carried these bodies straight to you.
By the kami, wait a moment more. Let me prepare a writ for you to present to Dr. Booncraft. Excuse me. He starts walking back into the camp. After about 15-20 minutes, he comes back with a narrow tube. It's about 8 inches long and an inch in diameter. Looks like it's made out of brass. And it's got a leather thong that attaches to the center of the long part of it and the last inch of the other part of it. You recognize it as a brass scroll case that is sealed to protect it from water, any type of moisture, extreme heat, cold, and the like. As he hands it out to their group, who takes it.
Danan will probably take it.
At your gesture, he'll move it into your palm. My seal is upon it. Present that to Dr. Booncraft. They've confirmed the identities.
Thank you very much, Mr. Specklefern, and we're terribly sorry to bring you bad news.
Of course. I'm going to present it to the crew. He sort of half-heartedly gestures back to the camp behind him. Day after tomorrow. Give you time to break news to Dr. Booncraft, and then so he can do his due diligence and speak with the family before anything risks getting back to them any other way.
Of course. But I think we will leave right away.
Travel swiftly. I don't think any of you have grown up with gnomes in your backstories.
I think my family dealt with them occasionally, but never grew up with them.
You get a farewell. Do any of you speak Gnomish?
I do not.
He says something in Gnomish, a little to himself, a little to you. It sounds like some type of farewell. And then shudders one more time, and then heads back into camp on a slow trudge, knowing that he has to sit on this information for a couple days by himself. It's mid-morning. The rest of the day is yours.
Well, if we leave now, we can stop at my mom's again for lunch.
Do you really want to bring 2 corpses to your home?
I don't think my mom, as long as you don't bring it inside.
And you know your family best, but...
You probably have to worry more about Orla than my mom. If you tell her not to look at something, that's the first place she's gonna look, so...
Okay.
We're I just wanted to maybe let her know my dad's in the logging camp right now. Hopefully get this information to them somehow.
Set out.
If you want to go back to Elderthorn, that's fine, Dylan. Did we lose someone? Oh, okay.
I don't mind, but if Orla is as curious as she say, she's gonna find out. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if that's a sight the child should see.
Well, that's probably true, and we are being paid to do it quickly, so I guess you're right. Let's just get back to Elderthorn.
The steps of your feet as you go turn to miles. Like a Constitution save from everybody, please. Nice roll. Jeez.
Thanks.
And just one from Willum when you have a sec, Willum. Willum's not in game at the moment. Willum, I'll get it for you. You got a 17. You're muted if you're speaking. Siegfried, by the end of the day, you're sore and stiff and exhausted. You're ready for bed, but you made very good time. The weather held and only got better. You got your first real taste of a warm spring day. As you came down out of the lowlands, into the lowlands, pardon me, out of the hills. The trees changed from the coniferous boughs through which you had chased, ran, and hunted this, or been hunted by that creature, into the temperate deciduous that make up the lowlands that you know will eventually give way to the outlying farms, probably mid-morning tomorrow. And the group of you get a comfortable rest in over the course of the evening. The next day, keeping the same pace, you arrive in Elderthorn about 2 to 3, mid-afternoon. The deciduous trees gave way to farmland. People looking, it looks like with the spring finally present and arrived, they're in a rush to sow their fields for the spring plant. Came on a little bit quicker than people were expecting, but the work is being done. This day is also sunny, comfortable, a little bit chillier than the day before. As you come into Elderthorn, immediately, people are sort of looking out windows, taking a glance at you as you approach through the streets, carrying this form. Where are you going?
We think straight
Back to the miners.
Yeah. To see the doctor.
Yeah, to Dr. Boomcraft.
Okay. So that means you'd be going to J, the Opulent Depths Mining Company. Yep. So you cross past the Faded Gate Inn, over the main bridge, up past Blackburn Keep, which draws the attention of 2 members of the Watch who sort of see the group of you, and see one head sort of poking in the keep, and the two of them fall in behind you at the moment. They're not saying anything or accosting you in any type of way, thanks to Aeolus's presence, but they're doing their job of making their presence known at this very peculiar site.
Can I do like an insight check on the two following us?
Sure.
Like,
Yeah.
are we in some sort of trouble, or
Aeolus,
Go ahead and make an insight check.
as they begin to tail us, Aeolus would instinctively like pat Siegfried and Hellerast and will fall back behind the group so that he's a few steps in tow with the other two,
Okay.
and is just gonna have some minor conversation as they make their way.
Yeah. With Hellerest, or you're trying to speak with the two members of the Watch?
With the members of the Watch.
Okay. As you take a few steps back, or like slow your pace, they separate. Now, it's not the most concerning to you, and Siegfried, nothing seems untowards about it. You don't feel threatened in any type of way. But it's very clear that the group of you carrying a wrapped body through town, like, it is what it is. It's middle of the day. There's not a lot of people about. Everyone's working. You're going to where you need to be going, and you're taking the only accessible route to get there. The Watch is just making sure, regardless of your position, Aeolus, that nothing untowards is happening, but they're not mincing words. Yeah. You do make it to the Alpine Depths Mining Company, though. A couple raps. Yes, come in.
Well, we would walk in.
A
We're
group
back, Dr. Boomcraft.
Ah.
And
Oh,
unfortunately, with bad news. Terribly news.
I
How to say?
gather. See Dr. Zillan Boomcraft, ODMC rep. As you are there. And as he's shifting around, oh, that's terrible. Was it only he that you found?
well, we believe we found the bones of the other.
We were ambushed
Yeah,
by a
if you didn't,
terrible creature.
It wasn't totally decayed. It was dismembered parts of the
And
body, not just bones.
I hand him the scroll that, or the tube that Felix gave me.
Ah.
Here from the foreman, Felix Berkelson.
He takes
He
it.
confirmed the identity of the two miners.
He
To
takes
the
it.
ones we were looking for.
Pulls out a small key, no thicker than a hairpin, and inserts it into a very surreptitiously hidden pinhole near the upper edge of it. So utilizes the key to sort of twist, pull, and jerks it back. And there's a click as he then removes the key carefully, tucks it back into his vest, and then opens it up and reads the brief note. Understood. Let me get you your payment so you can be done with this nasty business. I'm so sorry.
We're sorry too. Seems like we came too late. But
He
if it's any comfort, we slew the creature, so at least there will be no more victims.
It
Hopefully.
is good. There's been no other reported disappearances, so that is good. And
We hope it was a lone hunter.
it's a sad week in Elderthorn. Here, he presents a small chest. It's about the size of a jewelry box. And contained within are the 250 silver. And then he takes a small pouch from his belt and counts out a little bit more and adds another 50 silver on top of it. Sparklethorn wrote that you were delicate in the matter at camp so as to not disturb morale, and that is appreciated. I can't lift it, but I will contact his wife and start the funeral preparations. Sort of wrinkles his nose a little bit and then tries to play it off as like just a sniffle. Probably sooner rather than later would be ideal. So
Give my condolences to their families, and I'm terribly sorry for the loss.
I will. I'll let them know of the group of you that brought them back to us, so that way they might be carried forth from here. Means a great deal. I don't know if they will want to thank you personally, but allow me to express my deepest appreciation on their behalf. You put their spirits to rest appropriately. These were good men.
I'm pretty sure they were fighting bravely, but it was just... That creature was just too much. It was frightening. Never seen anything like it.
He sort of arranges the two packages. Do you... Here, hands you another pouch. As he gestures, whose tent is this?
Siegfried just raises his hand.
He hands you the coin to be able to reacquire another tent from Gogron.
Thank you.
I don't think you want this one back. No offense intended.
No, I just needed a way to get it out.
Of course. So you can just, if you want to, add another tent to your inventory.
So just to be clear, each of us gets 60 silver from the job?
50.
50. All right.
Yeah,
So,
300 by 6. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm did wrong math.
No.
But plus 10, I get 60. Okay.
Yeah. We'll add 50 and add a tent back.
Okay.
I can't remember offhand what 10 is. It might be 10, but
Yeah. Okay. Because that was what I was going to do as well, anyway. So thank you.
Yep. Tent's actually 20 silver. He ushers you out. I need to see to the family as soon as possible. Please excuse me.
Have a good day, Dr. Boomcraft.
Good is not the word. It's been a few tough days for Elderthorn. Please excuse me. He locks the shop as he ushers the group of you out and hurries off.
What?
What the hell did he mean by that?
Yeah, he mentioned it twice. What happened here while we were gone?
I think we should make our way over to Blackburn Keep.
Either that or Booker will not certainly know what happened. Oh, we're gonna pass by the Blackburn Watch anyway. See what has happened while we were away.
Okay. Let's take our mid-session break here as the group of you are leaving the ODMC headquarters. And we'll pick up about
Is it okay if we come back at the 35? I just have to do something quick.
Sounds good. Back 35.
All right.
Right. So as the group of you leave the ODMC, where are you going first? You do notice that while you were inside, the two members of Blackburn Watch have left. They're no longer sort of looking at the entrance.
Real quick, how far is my housing from where we are now?
Do you stay with Blackburn Watch? Because as an avowed member, you would have a room in the keep. That's not barracks; it'd be your own personal quarters.
I think. No, I have a small, like a small shack
Okay.
towards the northern edge, towards
Yep.
the Pinwood.
Okay. Let me get you to the right map. That's the world map. There we go. And measuring tool. So from ODMC, that would be out here on the outskirts of the Tiltwinds. The measuring is not accurate. Not entirely accurate.
Okay.
Actually, it's probably pretty close. Blackburn Keep, 200 foot. It's a little bit small. Yeah. You're within a jaunt of your own abode.
Okay. I'm gonna turn towards everyone, and I have to make a quick stop. I'll meet you at Blackburn Keep, and Aeolus is gonna head off towards his home.
Okay. What are the rest of you up to?
Probably go to Blackburn Keep and see what the Druckers or what Dr. Boomcraft was mentioning. Gather some information.
Yeah.
Okay.
Strike out on their own.
I would also attempt to get an audience with Batena.
Bat.
Bat.
Yeah, she goes by Bat.
Hello.
Bat, yes.
Hellegastard's just gonna go talk to Gogron.
Okay. We're separating. Alright.
Is there a spot that is like does crafting of like gold items or silver items?
It would still be Amber Braid.
Okay.
Generally, most of their work is horseshoes, nails, repairing farm equipment, things like that. They're crafting of weapons and armor for Blackburn Watch, but they're Emil's a gifted silversmith as well.
Perfect.
Okay. So we'll start with the group heading to Blackburn Keep. Those of you who had there initially, when you start to try to walk into the courtyard, you're held up. Except for Siegfried as a current member.
I'll be like, is something going on?
No admittance at this time.
Alright. Well then, maybe, I think Dunnan is the only one with me right now. Or no, I'll be like,
I think
well, I'll just,
Willum might be as well. Willum, did you go with him to the keep?
Yeah. So long as I would have the ability to go shopping after.
No.
Dunnan, and Willum, why don't you guys, we'll meet up at Puka's in the evening, and I'll let you know what's going on.
Yeah. Meet at the Faded Gate at the evening.
Okay.
Right.
I shake. Thank you for your help, Dunnan.
Yeah. No worries. No, we are the bloody mad dogs. No.
Oh yes, bloody mad dogs. He makes like a dog barking noise, and then he walks inside.
You hear a snicker from one of the guards there. I don't know if that went down.
I feel like you're later. Just wait till you wake up with a wolf spider in your bed.
Um, while they part ways, is there the message board nearby?
There is at the moment, yes.
Would-
Everything has been sort of nixed on it, like cuts have been made across documents on it to indicate that jobs have been done and completed. You do see that the ODMC job for the 2 miners that you found is still up. Looks like Dr. Booncraft did not prioritize getting around to this rather than going and speaking with the families yet. But plastered over them is an announcement. Wake held in Faded Gate Inn, sundown.
A wake is like somebody passed away. And...
Yeah.
Okay. Does it mention who passed away?
No.
Mm.
It's just announcing the location and the time.
Seems like somebody passed away this week while we were gone, I'll say to Willum. But it doesn't mention who it was. Curious.
Yes. I'm sure it's those that we brought back, but we should investigate just in case.
Mr. Dr. Booncraft would have said so, but we were going to the Faded Gate anyway. Puka probably knows more. You come along, or are you going home first?
Hey, I'm not ready to go home. I have some things I need to do within town.
Sure. I'll see you in the evening then.
Yes.
Oh, did you
Stay
mention
safe, my friend.
Did you say you were not ready to go home?
No. I don't want to see the numbers right now.
All right, you're free to join then.
No, so the two of you headed to Faded Gate.
Yes.
Sounds good. Hellerast, you said you're going to Gogrons, correct?
Yes.
As you enter, you see that the shop is closed at the moment, which is unlike him. But you know where the key is for the back door. You enter, and you see him sort of stir at the sound. Looks like he was working on organizing the shop a little bit. Oh my gosh, I'm glad to see you. Where have you been?
We went to go look for. Sorry, we went to go look for the missing miners to see if we could get that done, and we found them.
Did those other companions you have go with you? Someone to corroborate your story?
Yes, they were all there. And we have the bodies, delivered them to the doctor.
His face sort of relaxes a little bit. Good.
We have lots of corroboration. What the fuck happened?
No one could find you. Or any of them, especially the outsiders. That dwarf. People are wary of him. No, someone was killed the day you left. People started pointing fingers. Killed someone and skipped town, they said.
Oh, well, that explains a lot.
We'll get your names cleared. Shouldn't be hard. It was the Goldworthy boy, Lander.
Ooh. Is that the kid that hangs out with Jack?
No.
No, okay. What happened to him?
He was found dead in the cathedral square.
Out of character, that's the guy that was talking to Dr. Booncraft when we left, right?
Yeah, you saw him
Okay.
speaking with Booncraft at one point. He was going in as you were leaving.
He's the son of the merchants from the Now You Die shop, right?
Correct.
At least my
Yeah.
notes say that.
Yep.
And
Ooh,
he
that's a
was
motherfucker.
engaged to the mayor's daughter.
Correct. He
Or
he
Nora,
had a
yeah. Dara,
some type of weapon wound in his stomach. He was found barely alive, incoherent. He'd been holding in his guts when he died in Cathedral Square. No. He gestures and then thumbs behind him. I spoke with the Amber Braids. They examined it themselves as weaponsmiths. No telling what did it. Axe, sword, something with an edge, whatever. It was grisly, and the whole town's been on edge. He was set to sea yesterday. And
That explains the wake.
yeah, I believe that's happening today. He was a good kid. And a kid, I mean, in his 20s or something. Humans are weird, but I think that's kiddish.
Gogren, anybody younger than you is a kid.
Also
Okay.
true. That makes you a kid.
Yeah. Whatever.
Look, drop by the Faded Gates as soon as you can. Don't be alarmed if people start accusing you of something. Stand your ground and don't get aggressive. And don't let any of your friends get aggressive either.
Understood.
We need
And
calmer heads to prevail here. Said
I
Zillin.
think I'd better-
Zillin hired you?
Yes.
I'll go speak with Zillin. Tell him he needs to come round the gate. I know people are starting to gather there already.
Hellerast is gonna say goodbye to Gogron and then rush out to see if she can find anybody from the Mad Dogs.
Yeah.
And because they should be coming right down the road.
Yeah, you roll me a D100, please.
Oh, whoop, put a space in there, shit.
Seven. Right after you pass the Faded Gate, going towards that main bridge that connects Westfall to the South Ward, you run into, it'd be Dunnan and Willum crossing over from Blackburn Keep.
Okay.
And we'll come to that in a sec.
Okay.
Aeolus, you're going to your home.
Yep. So I go in. I'm going to drop the bundle of the creature parts,
Okay.
and I'm going to unwrap it.
Easily done.
I'm going to store a couple of I'll store one of the front legs, one of the hind legs, and the two middle legs. I'd like to quickly test if they are stiff in property, or if they have some capability to bend.
They are rigid like steel rods.
Awesome. Then I will also store the hind plates that come into the.
Sounds good. You're just putting these like away underneath your bed, or in your small cupboard, or are you trying to hide these in your home?
I'm gonna store them the same place that I have my leathers and my.
Okay, the same place, like where you would do your arms and armaments at any point. Okay, easily done. Anything else that you have at your home that you need to do?
Besides, I'm gonna just take the breastplate off and put on my longer coat, and then bundle up everything and start the head turn towards Blackburn.
Okay, noted. Siegfried, you are allowed through the guards at the entrance to the keep. The courtyard is barren at the moment. Nobody currently training. As you come into the main hall, interior area where most meals are had, there's a large hearth of coals about 6 to 7 feet in diameter that's being tended every now and then and turned over to keep the hall heated. Even though it's not quite as cold as it has been in the last few months, it's good practice to keep it heated all the time anyway. And there's a little small pot, and partway into the bed of coals there, cooking some degree of food. You see one person working on that, but seated at one of the tables, currently reading through a tome of some type. You see Lieutenant Arvier.
I go up to Lieutenant Arvier, but I just stand at attention until he addresses me.
There's a moment. Turns the page. Continues to read. Another few minutes pass. Turns the next page. With a sigh, he then drops a mark in the book. Yes. What's it be?
Well, just wanted to make a report and ask what's going on. When we left, the keep wasn't closed for visitors.
No. Keep closed because of crime in town.
Oh no, what happened?
Some kid get killed. Where have you been? You not know this?
No, we took a job from the Opulent Depths mining company. After talking with Zillin, we went up to the mining camp. Did a job for them and came back. We even brought back a letter of confirmation from Felix. Just dropped it off at Zillin's right before he came here.
You speak Dr. Brooncraft, yes?
Yes.
We check. We're friends.
They were with me the whole time, but I think Willum went to check on his family. I'm not exactly sure what Dunnan was doing, but Aeolus went home. Hellyrast went to visit her cousin. But I mean, they were on the job with me the past couple days.
When you meet them next,
Well, we were going to go to the gates, the gate to see what everything. We'll check out what the wake was about and try and get some more information.
It's about a dead kid. Good idea. He stands up, puts the book down heavily. I come with. And
Is
gives
it
a whistle.
possible-
And you see 6 members of Blackburn Watch in full
what's this
armor.
all about? Are my friends in trouble?
We will see.
I assure you, they were with me the whole time.
Would they? We don't know if they with you before you leave. We will see. Come, we go. Why? See wake.
Before we go, there's something very important I need to tell the bat.
You speak with Bat later. First, we see. Go to Gate Inn. I come with. Have good drink. He's very curt with you. More so than usual. You see why he gets a little bit more of his harder reputation at this point. As he puts a heavy hand on your shoulder. Oh. Starts steering you towards the door.
I move his hand off my shoulder, and I walk to the door myself.
He does replace it. Understand, this is necessary. Security.
Where was the security when I was sent to the Pinwood?
You were not suspect in Pinwood. You were suspect in this. I believe you. But the people of Elderthorn must also believe you. If Watch cannot keep track of its own members, we cannot secure town. Community must trust. You trust in me.
I'm having a hard time doing that right now, Arvir.
I understand. It not change mind, but I understand. And you are escorted out of Blackburn Keep and to the Faded Gate Inn. Aeolus, as you see, as you come to Blackburn Keep, you see Siegfried. God damn it. Siegfried being escorted out by Arvir and a half dozen avowed members of the Watch.
What is this?
Ah. Welcome, Aeolus. Join friend.
Okay. Is there something wrong, Arvir?
We see. Come, we go to wake. All drink together.
To the wake.
Yes, wake.
Did the doctor report our findings that quickly?
Mere persuasion check. Arvir's eyes sort of narrow towards you. Maybe. But their wake happening soon at Faded Gate. We all go. Gestures around with the hand that's not on Siegfried's shoulder. Come, fall in line.
Yes, sir.
Escorted. The 3 of you, are you still on the bridge as Helaras and them and the 2 of you meet? Willum, Denon, and the rest?
And the rest. Uh, we found out what's wrong. Apparently, somebody died while we were away. Don't know who. It was a message on the board.
It was Lander Goldworthy.
Oh, that
And he
handsome,
was,
shiny boy we met at the ODBC?
yes, he was disemboweled and trying to hold his guts in when they found him. He died soon after. They can't tell what kind of blade got him.
Murdered.
And they
That's
think we
terrible
did
news.
it.
We?
They think we may have done it. We disappeared right before he was found. So we are prime
We
suspect.
have done it when we were helping.
Watch yourselves.
What? That's ridiculous. We've just contributed to this Elderthorn all the time. And now we
It'll
are murder
all get
suspects?
sorted out. It'll all get sorted out, probably. But don't piss anybody off. You especially. Pipe down.
Great. I'm known for pissing people off, and I'm getting really angry right now. Murder suspects. Ridiculous. And he spits on the floor.
Well, you can't tell other people that you're not a suspect. They get to decide if you're a suspect or not. We get to clear our names. So just shush. The more you fight, the more you'll look guilty you're gonna look.
Make promises, but I'll try to keep my mouth shut.
We're all in this together.
Yeah.
Think of it as not fucking it up for everybody else.
Oh boy, it's gonna be my greatest challenge ever, but alright.
I'll buy you 2 beers a day for a week if you just keep it down.
Make it 4 and we've got ourselves a deal.
4 a day?
Yes. I'm at the drunken dwarf. What do you expect? I'm a soldier through and through. We drink a lot.
Okay.
Yes.
You got it.
Don't,
You got
I
it.
will buy you the other 2.
you don't want to know how long my tap is on in the Faded Gate Inn. Why do
No,
you
I'm
think
not
I am
covering
doing
that.
so much jobs with money? Because I'm in debt with Puka.
Are you guys headed to the Fata Gate, or are you still in the middle of the street?
Do we see the Aeolus
The
and...
procession?
Yeah.
That's why I'm asking.
Well, if we don't see them, we probably would go to the Faded Gate Inn, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. So as this conversation's happened, you walk the couple hundred feet and enter the Fata Gate. Soon after they arrive, though. For all of you, as you enter and then the procession enters. The Fata Gate, which is normally boisterous enough, not overly so, but it's a good atmosphere. People laughing, telling jokes, sharing stories, usually some degree of some type of music, if it's not Siegfried. It is quiet and somber. There are already, as you're at this point, maybe 2 hours from sundown, close to 60 or 70 people inside the Faded Gate. It's not quite cramped yet, but you're not too far away from cramped. Every seat is occupied. People are speaking in very low voices. As the group of you, 3 of you enter. Buka. Yeah. And a lot of faces look up. A lot of them not happy. And a older looking gentleman, weathered face. Looks like he might have spent a lot of time on a fishing boat or crabbing. There he is, it's a dwarf. Don't let him get away. You got a lot of explaining. Sort of hiccups a little. Explaining to do.
Do?
Yeah.
For what? For
No,
being away and finding those missing miners nobody else was able to find? Nobody
Yeah.
else had the courage to find? Huh? If somebody wants to say something to me,
Buka comes
speak up.
over, puts a beer in your hand.
And Hellerast gives you the stink eye.
So
At this point, the door opens again, and the procession of Aeolus Siegfried, directed by Arvir, enters, followed by the half-dozen members of the Watch.
Aeolus is going to immediately clock everyone.
Yep, you see your 5 companions there, or 3 companions in addition to the 2. Jack headed off to his own abode before the group of you entered Elderthorn.
Okay. Aeolus is going to turn his head to Arvir and go, "May I stand with?"
All mean. I watched Thor. So the members of the Watch flank Arvir, and they block the door. Now, he looks around. Goldworthy's here? Not yet. Good. They need not rehash.
Okay, what has happened?
I hope you answer that for us, Aeolus. You come clean now, it'd be easier.
Come clean?
Elras,
Something for
Come
what?
on.
enough. Fall in line. What is this
Arvir?
about? Where you mentioned Goldworthy. How is
Yes.
the boy?
Lander is dead. You all and Jack disappear day Lander is found, with his guts spilling out. He unable to name assailants. We know not who, but
we were
everyone,
Civilian.
you all disappeared.
you
Seem
just
like
jump
running.
to conclusions, right? Yeah. Makes sense, yeah. We just finished the business in the Pinwood, did your great deed, and now we're the prime suspects, right? And
Okay.
we found those missing miners, and sure, you blame the outsider, right? That's what you do.
Tannen,
What?
enough.
From me? They're blaming us.
Us
Or
as a
me.
whole, not just you.
Yes, it's death penalty for Aeolus and the rest of you. Bad death for Aeolus, if you guilty.
Lieutenant?
I will say now that when we left for this job, that I told those at Black Pern that I was responsible for the group. When we left, when we spoke to the doctor, the Goldworthy boy was heading in to speak to him. That's the last we saw him.
Where you keep track of group. A whole day of leaving. Maybe one of them, he looks at the rest of them. Maybe one of them slip your watch, make murder, and then join you, use you as cover. Sort of eyes Willum eyes shifted down and
We all went to the training exercise together that morning, and we left immediately after together. We were together the whole time to my mother's house, and then from there to the camp. And we spent the night, we've been together the entire time since we finished the training mission.
We met up with Andre in the morning. Siegfried and me, who can also speak for us.
I'd like a group persuasion check, please. Well done,
There we
Aeolus.
go.
Looks like we only need one execution. It's okay. Middle of the road. You sort of picks one of the avowed members behind him. Find Boonecraft. Bring him here. Individual leaves, and walks up about the door, and then a moment later the door swings and hits Arvir's heel, where Arvir is standing in front of it. As it swings back open, the soldier comes back in. He's here, sir. He was just walking up the road. You see Dr. Zillan Boonecraft and Gogron. In a large disparity between the two of them, from the gnome to the orc. Sidle in. The gnome just strides through the door that's ajar, and Arvir has to sort of get pushed forward slightly and steps forward as the door opens a little bit more to allow Gogron's girth to enter. Boonecraft. They say you work for them. That you send them out of town? Yes. They were instrumental in finding and recovering the remains of Elre and Emron. I've spoken with their families. We're going to have a pyre for them tomorrow.
You see,
When you
you're
do
nothing
this,
but contributing to this settlement. Nothing but contributing.
neither you, dwarf. When you send them, Boonecraft informs Arvir. Very well. Fall out. Sort of gestures to the members of the watch that are there. We continue working other leads. Sooner we find responsible party, sooner that rumor mill be put to rest too.
Can we help you with your investigation? I have a proposal to clear our names. We even help you find the person responsible for the murder of the young lad.
Arvir sort of lifts his chin to listen.
It was one of us, after all. Me and him are the same age. It could have been any of us. Someone should find out.
He is a bit older than you. You did not serve together.
I mean,
And a proposal.
Well, we'll help you find the person responsible and totally comply with your investigation.
Good.
I have nothing to hide. I didn't even know the lad. I just saw him when we were leaving the ODBC for the job with Dr. Boonecraft just explained.
Very well. Don't run away from Elderthorn without informing myself or Captain Stormsurge. Siegfried, I tell Bat you want a meeting.
Now that we've cleared it up, is it?
Come by tomorrow morning.
Are my friends allowed in the keep or not?
No one enter keep. Still. Non-member. Must keep the security as tight as possible until individual brought to justice. You understand?
This happened on your watch, not ours.
Agreed, and that is why we stay safe.
That's fired.
Just not safe enough, right?
Maybe if we had all members of Watch in town, it wouldn't happen.
Siegfried.
Fall in line, guard.
Job. So are we
Arvir.
clear now?
Yes.
Arvir turns and leaves.
Equals our detriment.
The door slams
It is
behind him.
amazing how you are deflecting.
To whom were you speaking, Willem?
Speaking to the person that just slammed the door in our face.
No.
Fails at his job and blames the others. Yeah, right. So, are we clear now, everybody?
And then there's a few grumbles around the room.
We like the kid. We had nothing against him. We're as sad as you are. And as scared.
Who has the highest passive perception of the group?
Aeolus has a 14.
I have
I
a
have
15.
15.
14.
Dunnan, you said 16?
15.
15? Okay.
That ain't me.
Dunnan and Siegfried with 15s. So you notice a sight which is very uncommon. Now that the crowd of people that sort of stood up and were like watching this row have settled back into their quiet grief. An individual sort of gets up and is drying her eyes, very clearly red from crying. It is Mayor Tadell. As it comes up, a wine glass in her hand that's clearly been drained, and there's several like rim marks where it's been filled and then left to sit and then drank and then filled some to a different level and then left to sit and drank again. Maybe a couple glasses in at least. She comes up. I hope you can help. Here's a marriage dough, by the way.
Please sorry for your loss. He was to be your son-in-law. And trust me, we have nothing to do with it, and we will clear up our names and find the person responsible for it.
Please.
I give you my word.
I had to break the news to my daughter yesterday.
Give her my condolences, all of ours.
She said she could see the pyre from the house. I was worried. She sort of catches in her throat for a moment. Her heart isn't there normally. She's not well. And it's not just who she loved, but that was her future. The Goldworthys, it's their only son. Was their only son.
I can understand. It's never easy if somebody gets just ripped out of your life. Or of thoughts some are with them.
Seems hard to put string words together. His moment takes a sip of her virtually empty wine glass. Buka, can I have some more, please? If there's anything I can... and anything I can do, let me know. He was a friend. He wasn't just going to be family.
I know it's not the right time and the right place, but if we would can get some more information on the circumstances of his death, it might give us some insight on what happened at that night. But not now. Now is the time for grief and sorrow. There is always a day after today. Today is the wake for the lad.
He's been returned to the sea. Hopefully he finds his way from there. And the ashes lift him. Buka's replaced the wine glass in the mayor's hand. Thank you. Takes a long draft of it.
This one's on me, Buka. Put it on my tab.
Buka's not going to be upset. She might not get paid for it anyway. Knowing you.
You will soon be surprised, Buka.
And she sort of cocks her eyebrow at that. Okay. You can come by the home anytime in the next few days if you'd like. Be happy to tell you what I know of him. I don't have all the details on what happened. The watch did his best to try to lock down everything in the square before too many of the younger folk saw everything. It was disturbing.
I can imagine. Who found it? Who found the lad?
There was a kid that was working at the temple. Wes. He reported it to the watch.
Out of character, Wes is the child that
Butcher's
Jack
son.
always.
Yeah.
But Danan doesn't know Wes.
No.
So, okay.
Wes found him, ran to get a member of the watch, and by the time they arrived, he was gone. Yeah. I'll see if Nora feels well enough to speak with you. T-Dance still has her confined for safety, but
Stand.
we're still not sure what's wrong with her, but T-Dance has been a good physician. But you can speak through the door. That's how Lander and her developed their romance. You'd come and sit and read stories to her. Her eyes get a little bit misty.
I won't bother you anymore, Mayor. There will be ample of time in the next upcoming days.
Dries her eyes for a moment. Okay. I should go before I have too much of this. As she drains her wine glass again. Excuse me.
Give her a hand, just to steady her.
She refuses it. I'm good. And she makes her way to the door. Thank you, Buka. Give my condolences again to the Goldworthys when they arrive. It's a little bit tough. And she leaves the faded gate. The group of you, there's no tables available at the moment. There is the bar. You can sit there if you want.
That's
We'll probably
fine.
sit at the bar, yeah.
Okay. Buka will serve the group of you.
How much is on my tab, Buka?
Let's see. With that glass of wine, you're looking at this point, 37 silver.
More things, boss. 37 already?
Yes. How?
Guess I'm broke again, and I give her the 37 silver.
Well, if you can pay like that, doesn't seem like you're broke.
That was all he had.
Most of it.
Sounds about right.
And after tonight, probably it will be the last of it.
How much more do you have? I'll make sure not to give you any extra.
He lies and says, just 10. Shall I roll for deception?
No.
Okay.
She's trying to keep track of like when to cut you off, so that way you don't owe money to her again.
Willum would sigh and walk by and just set a gold piece on the counter.
You should not have any gold pieces.
Walk out the door. Well, it was for my initial stuff, but call it 10 silver then.
10 silver, yeah. Okay. So you're not staying the Faded Gate, you're leaving?
Yeah, I still wanted to do my shopping at some point.
Okay. Where are you trying to go to do your shopping? Gogrons?
I would be hitting the smithy,
Okay.
the gnome depot.
Is it possible that Willum's parents have heard these rumors about their son?
Probably.
Hellerast would pull Willum aside and say, let your mom know that you're alive and you didn't do it, okay? Just stop by your mom's. Think you can do that, babe?
I'll have a letter sent.
Hellerast is wondering what happened to Willum. He was so willing to go home and now he doesn't want to. She's confused. But she lets him go.
Yeah. Willum. So you said first that you wanted to head to Amber Braid Armorers?
Yeah, I'll just, if it's easier, I'll just message you the 3 things I want to do so not to take time from others.
Okay. Well, Gnome Depot is not a shop. It is an import company for the docks being unloaded.
Yep.
So there's nothing that you can purchase at that location. So just mention what things you were looking to purchase. And you can consult Gogron's General Goods trade in the Elderthorn journal folder for prices of common equipment.
Yeah. certain things that aren't on there, but I will message them to you. Fair enough.
Sounds good. All right. The rest of you, in the Faded Gate, currently, you're being served, this time of the year, it'll be the duck and plum pie. If you're hungry.
Great. Well, Danon is always hungry, so he will dig in, order some ale with it,
Okay.
wash it down.
Noted. Mark off 8 silver in that case for the meal plus the ale, and then if you want an additional ale, it's another 2.
Oh, maybe later.
And she'll cut you off after that second ale because you don't have money.
Okay.
But the
Um,
inn is quiet. It's eerily quiet, as not in like dead of the forest type of quiet, but in a this environment is not normally like this.
is somebody eyeing us? Like, intensely looking at us?
Every now and then, give me an insight check. $17. Every now and then you feel like you catch a glance in your direction, but you're not sure if it's a, I don't believe them, or, wow, I misjudged them. It feels like it could go either way based on which person. And you see these glances every now and then from different people.
But nobody's intensely staring.
No one's like outwardly gawking at any of you. Noted ale will come to that in a moment. So Hellerast and Siegfried are there as well. With you. Done.
Are the parents already here?
Are the Goldworthies? No, not yet.
Okay.
Are you gonna wait until the Goldworthies arrive?
Well, I would just ask Buka, shall I leave before the parents are here? I don't wanna,
You just made a very public declaration that you're going to get to the bottom of this. You should probably speak with his father and his mother.
That was my plan. Right, so I just wanted the confirmation.
Eat your duck. For the rest, Siegfried, anything in the tavern?
Hellerast will get the duck. No ale.
No ale?
But
okay. It is 6 silver in that case for you, if you're not getting any drink.
No drink. But she's going to pull Buka aside and let her know that Dunnan has 4 ales on her for the rest of the evening.
Got the coin for that?
Yep. Hands it to her. So
mark off an additional 8 silver.
14 silver?
Yeah, 6 for your meal and then 8 for the ales.
So she'll hand 14 silver over.
Noted. I'm sure he'll be appreciative.
It was a bet.
Try not to let him bet you. He's remarkably good at that.
Well, no, I misspoke. It was a bribe.
Ah.
We're good.
Drew nods and returns to checking on the different tables. Anything for you, Siegfried?
I would try and find a corner and eat, and I would probably just lazily play on my yarding. Instead of like his usual songs about adventure, this time he'll sing like a old dwarven song that he knows about that song when there's cave-ins and they're trying to get miners to find their way back to the surface. And he'll just practice that song until the parents show up.
Okay. You're working on that.
Kind of break the silence a little bit. Fill the room with some music.
Yeah. Give me a performance check. Or you have proficiency with the instrument?
Yes, I do.
Make it a tool check with the instrument using your charisma. Yeah, pretty good. You do a good job of getting just slightly more positive than the tone of the room to try to help kindle some spirits. You gauge the tone of the atmosphere accurately enough that you're not pushing people into deeper grief, but you're not playing happy-go-lucky stuff when everyone's trying to grieve. And it fits the atmosphere correctly. Aeolus, as you duck out after the conversation with Buka and the mayor, well, mostly the mayor, you catch up with Arvir if you're hustling, as he's entered the courtyard. Yes. What I do for you? Your friend is ambitious if you think to do better than us.
He's also loud and likes to put his foot in his mouth.
I'm surprised it fit. Big foot, bigger mouth.
Indeed. I have a few things to show you and Storm Surge as well as Pat. We encountered a creature.
Creature?
Yeah, and it's
Is the one Boonecraft speak of? I chat with him outside on the walk back. He said you find something.
Yep, and Aeolus will motion to the bundle that he has. We were able to harvest some parts.
So you did bring some with you, correct?
Yes.
Okay. You didn't leave all of it at your home.
Right.
Okay. Come inside. We check. Storm Surge and Bat not in moment. Storm Surge guarding Mayor's house. Daughter. They were worried of her hurting self.
Can't imagine.
Bat is out. Not nowhere. She return when she return. Come in. And it's a strange to get this at dressment from who is essentially your superior officer, as one of the lieutenants Arvir is, and you're just an avowed member. But sorry for the scene. Community need to see that the watch be hard, and we'll get to bottom of it. I don't suspect you guilty, but I need to ask questions they would ask. Get them the sense of us doing the job for them.
I understand. There's no... When...
We are baffled. Your friend with the mouth foot hopefully will be helpful.
I hope so too. And I understand. I was unaware that the Goldworthy boy had fallen.
It's nasty. Bad wound. I see it. I helped stack pyre.
Are we alone?
At this point, Take a glance around. There's the one person that's Siegfried had saw working like cooking a stew. Has since finished eating, and you can hear them gently starting like scrubbing a pot in the corner. But that's it. There's no one else in the main hall.
Okay.
And all of the torches are out at this point, except for the two at the entranceway. But there is the embers, the large bed of embers that give the whole area a faintly orange glow. So the whole area is effectively dim light.
Okay. Aeolus will reach and will begin to pull one of the legs. Is it something like this that could have made the wound?
Takes it, sort of taps it with his taloned fingers, like very hard fingernails. No, it's thrusting. What is this creature?
This was one of its legs, and he'll
Leg.
pull the head, or what was
Oh.
after the skull, and then
Yeah.
this.
Well, the exoskeleton part of the skull, which is the upper section of it, and then the two jaws the two guards of the lower jaw that don't connect. So it's very much like an armored mask almost. But no, long shape. Something slash him open. We tell Ember Braids to tell people they have no idea what it was. Looked to be filleting knife, cut fish. Flesh peeled back carefully. In organs not ruptured, just exposed to spill.
Wanted him to suffer through.
Aye, yes. Don't know how long he lived like that.
And
It was
he was able-bodied too.
strong man. I remember his time with Blackburn. Good. Reads a lot. Was not very social. Did not really get the life. But still reliable. Head in clouds mostly.
I understand that well. Well, I apologize for the outburst.
Unnecessary. It better than not. It will go well. I will inform Storm Surge when he return that you wish audience, and Bat when she come back. You mind I keep these as gestures at the pieces you've presented?
Oh no, go ahead. These were for you. I'll most likely be with Siegfried.
Go spend time with friends. Looks around for an attendant. There's none nearby. Here, I do self. Goes through his purse. Here, monthly wages, and tosses you a coin purse of 75 silver. Week changeover.
I will take my leave, and I will make sure to check in the next time that I have to.
Keep eye on friends.
Be the group.
Make sure friends don't do suspicious in town. Keep blame off of them until resolved.
Yes, sir. Aeolus will salute Arvir and will leave Blackburn Keep.
Okay. Those of you still at the Faded Gate, about an hour passes, roughly. And then two individuals walk in. And all of the speaking in the area stops for a moment. Two dark-skinned. The gentleman has close-shorn hair, cut tight on the sides and allowed to grow a little bit taller. Very much oddly militaristic, similar to like how Captain Stormsurge keeps his hair, although it definitely has a different texture. And he's got bloodshot, but eyes that would be quite beautiful for a man under normal circumstances. This deep hazel. On his arm, knuckles a little bit bright from gripping his wrist, seemingly needing the support, is another older woman. They're both in their about early 60s, you would gather, humans. Her hair is streaks of gray and black. That's been twisted into long braids. Dark skin. Her eyes are a deep brown, like a silt churned up from a deep river. She's just in a gray shawl. As the two of them come in, you recognize Leofric and Maude Goldworthy. They enter and there's a pregnant pause before Buka comes up and sort of clasps their hands and leads them over as people get up and move out of their way so that way they have a table where they can be seated. And a small procession starts to form of people coming up to share a story, a tale, a happy memory, in a quiet voice with the two of them.
When it has died down some, Danan would approach them.
Okay. Oh, I don't think we've had the pleasure.
Mr. and Mrs. Goldworthy, I'm terribly sorry for your loss. My name is Danan Firebeard, and my companions here.
Pleasure to meet you, Donan. I wish it were... Trails off. Thank you. I'm Leofric, please. No need to address us by surnames. This is Maude.
Danan Maude. Nice to meet you, Leofric and Maude. Well, as I told Elre, we would like to help in the investigation to find the suspect or the person responsible for your son's murder, for your son's death.
Maude speaks for the first time. And catches you off guard a little bit. I would like that very much for you to be able to help. I don't know who's responsible, but someone broke the trust of our community, and I would very much wish to see him beheaded. I want to watch them suffer for what they did to him.
I can understand your feelings.
I'll carry his body into the pit with myself. So deep his spirit will never find its way out of those accursed trees. Leofric sort of grabs her hand for a moment. She takes a few deep breaths. Yes. Leofric continues. If you would like to, please come around for tea tomorrow, mid-morning, and we can speak in plainer detail.
Certainly.
You can
And
take a look at his room if you would like.
does it seem off that he's so compliant and open to me?
Give me an insight check.
When is talking to the husband, I will go up to Maude and offer her the Kame charm that I got from my house, and I'll just say, the Gold River clan gives you their condolences. I'm sorry.
Make me just a general charisma check. Dunnan, he seems like a man that he's experienced a great deal of grief and loss, and it seems like he's dealt with it in a healthier way than Maude has, and acknowledges that this is the point where the time for sobbing and being a mess is past. And while the grief isn't going to go away, how he handles it. And the way to handle it is to be composed. Nothing seems untowards about how he's handling it. It just seems to be at the point of past bargaining and closer towards acceptance. She accepts it. So thank you. You're that adopted boy, yes?
Siegfried smiles a little bit. Yes. 2 years, almost 2 decades ago up in the mountain.
Well, I hope the family is well. Takes it and sort of looks down and just absent-minded again. She sips a mug of something that Buka's set down on the table at some point.
I ask her,
during the procession.
Is there a song that you would like to hear?
No. What you were saying as we entered, that you stopped, was fine. It was pleasant.
I'll just
somber, but good.
I'll just nod and go back to the corner and continue playing it.
Willum, saw your message. The first two things, everything up to the silver bracelet. You go to where you would be able to get that, but the owners of that establishment are in the Faded Gate Inn, and it is closed. The final thing, easily acquired, mark off 10 silver. For the bracelet, mark off 20.
Okay.
I
would probably try to track down the folks for the first ones in the inn.
Okay. Give me a history check.
What check?
History check. Yeah. You know who you need to speak with about something like that. The Goldworthys. They run the Now You Dye Clothier and Tailor.
That's the one I was looking for.
Yeah.
I remember the name.
Yep. And it's owned and operated by Leofric and Maude Goldworthy, and was supposed to be taken over by Lander. So if you are searching for them, like when you get to the shop, you would right, and you could head back to the Faded Gate at that point if you wanted.
That would be what I would do.
Okay. You and Aeolus arrive back about the same time. Hellerest, or either of you have anything?
No. Hellerest, of course, just sits quietly and listens and pays her respects. And then she's going to go ask Dunnan what he thinks he wants to do. So, where is Dunnan now? Is he still sitting there, or did he leave?
At this point, everyone's back together at the Faded Gate.
Okay, so she's just going to lean over to Dunnan and say, so how do you want to start this? What are you thinking we can do?
I think the best bet is first ask the parents if their boy had any enemies in town or anyone holding a grudge against him. I think they are the best source of information. Next would be the mayor and this West boy they mentioned who first found the body. I think in that order. But I'm open to suggestions.
I turn to Aeolus. Maybe we should look into the missions he was part of on the watch. I know grudges can be started that way.
I have a few ideas as far as how to approach it, but
Just to clarify, is Dunnan, and Jack, are they the only two outsiders in town right now?
Jack was a member of Blackburn Watch.
Okay,
He's a citizen of Elderthorn.
It's literally only Dunnan that was the
No,
suspect.
there's other members of the greater Elderthorn community that aren't just minors. Most of it is transient people, though. So it is people that are traveling from one city to another. Traders. Most commonly, it's fishermen that work the Elderthorn waters during part of the year, and then move to colder waters as the summer starts, or sail back up towards Armskirk once summer hits properly. But most of the people aren't any type of permanent resident. You can say, if you pick out 100 random people of the population of Elderthorn, 9 of adult age, 95 to 99% of them will have served time with Blackburn Watch. It is very uncommon that any permanent resident has not completed any of their service.
Siegfried would just then mention, we maybe should check what ships have been in and out recently as well. Might give us some insight.
Did anybody find out how he died, what kind of weapon it was?
Aeolus
Do we know anything about that?
will turn to Hellerast and will just shake his head and will quietly, not here, not now.
Okay. Hellerast will assume that Aeolus knows something, but this is not the place or time to discuss it.
Yeah, I'm sorry for my outburst. It's just my dwarven temper got the better of me.
I bought your beers anyway.
Much appreciated.
You got 4 on me. Don't get too drunk, though.
Oh,
We need your wits tomorrow.
no promises, but I'll try. Let's just say 3, then.
Siegfried,
Sorry, go ahead.
we're gonna head to meet with Pat tomorrow. I also want you present for the other talks if they would allow it.
Sir. Tell me where to go.
The evening passes. The procession of people come through. You think most of the town at one point or another comes through the faded gate. People come, offer a condolence, maybe stay for a drink, or a bite, and then head out as more people file in. It goes late into the night until eventually the Goldworthys get up, and a few members of the community walk with them out to escort them back to their home.
Are there any watch members that are walking with them?
There's some members of the watch out and about. They're escorted home, though. The evening finishes. A group of you rest uneasily, but recuperating. The group of you also level up at this point to 3.
Ooh.
Whee!
Second level spells for some people.
Nice. Roll for hit points.
But not for Dunnan. Alright, Dunnan, big roll. Alright, average for Siegfried. Willis, Hellerassi, we're gonna roll, gonna average. Willum gets average anyway.
I will.
I always average.
Average it is. Hellerassi, that's a 7 for you. Plus your modifier.
Okay.
And Willis, what's she taking?
Average.
Alright, sounds good. You are a D10, I think, which would be a 6.
Okay.
Plus your con mods. So, make sure to adjust the maximum hit points on your sheet as well. What's the new totals for everybody?
25.
Nice. Done.
37.
Ooh. Yeah, there you go. Hellerast.
36.
Pretty good. Also, Jack, I'll let Nick decide if he's going to take average or roll. Siegfried, what you up to?
27.
27. Nice. And Willum.
22.
Into the 20s. There you go. Welcome to D6 hit dice.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I made sure to take a +3 to con. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
Second level
Hellerast
spells.
Hellerast and Dunnan, the tanks of the team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
Very chill.
Doesn't mean you have to be a meathead.
I was gonna say, Hellerast isn't exactly fond of the idea of being a tank, but whatever.
Just as it is, right?
And it is what it is.